Okay, so during the TikTok ban, I was updated on Facebook, so some of you guys aren't aware of this. So before I continue on with what happened recently, so on the registers as a cashier, I was, like I had mentioned slightly in the previous video, I was making mistakes with the till, with money and with checks. And so I had got to the orange, and one more mistake would have got me written up and fired because it would have put me in the red. And this is at Walmart. So I had went to so I had decided I'm just gonna quit for now and try to come back like later, like months from now. When there's openings for like a different department. So I didn't really know how that worked because I don't have any work experience before working at Walmart. None, and I have made that very clear to them. I have no work experience, I have no life experience. I've been a stay-at-home mom up until now. And mind you, this Walmart didn't give me any training. I had 0 training. So on the register, I had 1 day of shadowing. So I had 1 day of shadowing, and they do things. They do the training that they give us. They do it through online learning, which you can only do when you're on the clock, and they're called U-learns. But the thing is they had me switch from stocking. So as another thing, I'm a part-time worker, and I asked for less hours while I was in stocking. I went to them and I said, hey, my circumstances, I didn't say specifically, I said my circumstances aren't allowing me to work the 2 to 11. Can I have less hours? And I'm already a part-time worker. But they snapped at me and was like, no, we hired you to work the 2 to 11. You said you were available whenever. And I just, it was already handled unprofessionally. And then they came to me later and was like, hey, which is crazy because there's a lot of stalkers that were not working the 2 to 11 or the 38 hours a week on part-time. There were people who were working once a week. There were people who were gone by 8:30, like working 6 hours, okay? So then they came to me later today like, oh, I'm sorry, I snapped at you. I'm under a lot of stress, blah, blah, blah. And like, there's a positioning opening up on the register. So at first I was very nervous, but I need a job. I need to be working. And that's a whole other story. So that's why I went to cashiering. So they had already switched my department just because they didn't want to cut back my hours on stocking. So, but the thing is that they were supposed to do it within 2 weeks, like after 2 weeks for the next pay period. So when they put me up there, I had 1 day of shadowing, 0 training, 0 things explained to me. It was completely learn on the go, and I didn't have access to the U-learns because I was still on the stocking roster. Okay, so in my personal life, I had a lot going on, and I'll make a video on that. But I did tell them like my circumstances, right? So I made all these mistakes, obviously, because I know nothing about nothing. Like I literally know absolutely nothing. So being on the register turned out to be like so these mistakes always happen when I was under a lot of distress. Okay, so I did go to the manager because I tried talking to a few, like I tried talking to a lead, and then I tried to talk to I don't know her actual role, but she's in charge. Anyways, I don't remember. But anyways, so she wasn't really communicative with me, and so as a matter of fact, she was not giving me her full attention. She was being very standoffish. So I was just like, and I even went back to my lead and I was like, I didn't really say anything bad. I was just like, I think there was a miscommunication. And then I went to somebody and I was like, hey, I'm going to try talking to the store manager. I don't know if it's me who's having an issue or if it's just how I'm being treated. Can you come sit with me, right? One of my leads agreed, well, actually saw that I was going to go talk to the manager and offered to sit in there with me. She was one of the ones that I actually liked. So I let her sit in there because she was encouraging me to quit. I've never had any problems with her. She's always been professional and stuff like that. But anyways, so she sat in there with me, and then I was like, I kind of want to quit, but because I wanted to quit and then go back later, but I just didn't know the process of that. I didn't know what was required of me. But they convinced me to stay, and they convinced me to stay by saying, how about we have you stay off register so you're not working with money and just do the self checkout. And then so I thought about it, and in that moment I was like, I really do need this money. I'm fighting for my independence. And because I did explain, I have a lot going on in my personal life. Like, I'm so overwhelmed. So when I come here and I'm put in overwhelming situations, I'm going to make these mistakes. So these two were already aware of that. I had started opening up to them. And that is the solution that they came up with. Mind you, so I did name them Becky and Valerie in previous videos. Becky and Valerie, since this change, had asked me to get on the register at least once. I didn't end up on the register, but they did try to get me to get on the register. And there were witnesses. I think I forgot to mention, so the thing is they had already switched my department once, and so I have to wait until my 6th month to switch department. So that is why I agreed to stay, and why I agreed to stay on self-checkout. I was just biding my time until my 6th month came up, which is not far away. As a matter of fact, from today, would have been a few weeks. And then then we were gonna try to figure out where is a perfect fit for me. That was the